You can train yourself to pause. To observe. To decide. That space between the trigger and your reaction, that's where your power lives. That's where freedom starts. Most people don't know it exists. They just react. Automatically, emotionally. But not you anymore. From today, you choose the pause. You choose the stillness. You choose the power. Because that's what emotional discipline is. It's not about being numb. It's about being sharp. Present, clear, focused. It's knowing that the storm outside doesn't mean there must be a storm inside. It's knowing you can feel something and still not act on it. That's strength. The weak man yells. The strong one listens. The weak man reacts. The strong one decides. The weak man chases control. The strong man controls himself. You don't need to force the world to behave. You need to master how you respond. Because you can't fix every problem. You can't control every outcome. But you can control what it does to you. This is the mindset that builds empires. This is the mindset that reshapes lives. This is the mindset that sets you free. Free from drama. Free from distraction. Free from the noise. There will always be noise. But silence chosen silence is a weapon. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. There will always be critics. Them speak. You listen to truth. Not to noise. To vision. Not to fear. People misunderstand you. Them doubt you. Let them mock you. And let them do it while you continue to rise. Quietly, powerfully, relentlessly. That's the discipline. That's the edge. That's the strength you were born to develop. Napoleon Hill wrote about this. He called it definiteness of purpose. But that purpose must come with peace, or you'll burn out chasing it. You're not here to flinch. You're here to focus. To lead yourself. To rise. And you can't rise if every word shakes you. You can't lead if your emotions lead you. You can't build a future if you keep revisiting the past. So you train your focus. You train your pause. You train your energy. Every day you reinforce that truth. I choose how I respond. I decide what matters. I guard my peace like a fortress. That's the level where life changes. Not when you make more noise. But when you need less reaction, less proof, less defense. You don't have to explain your peace. You protect it. You live it. People won't understand. That's fine. They're still at war with themselves. Let them be. You're done being moved by noise. You walk through the world untouched. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You didn't come here to fight every battle. You came to win the war within. And when that war is won, nothing outside can harm you. They can insult you, but you won't absorb it. They can doubt you, but it won't change your direction. They can push you, but you won't be moved. Because you've trained yourself to stay still. To respond with thought, not impulse. To lead with purpose, not emotion. That is true strength, and it's not born, it's built. Built in silence, built in discomfort, built when no one is watching. That's where discipline is forged. That's where your identity is reshaped. That's where your power sharpens. Every time you pause instead of react, you get stronger. Every time you let go instead of clinging, you get freer. Every time you observe without needing to control, you grow wiser. This is your edge, not noise, not defense, stillness, the calm inside the storm, the eye that watches, not flinches, the presence that leads, not follows. Most people live in noise, reacting, scrolling, consuming, overthinking. Their minds are hijacked. Their emotions are outsourced. Their peace is rented out to whatever happens next. But not you. Not anymore. You've decided to master your inner world. To live like a mountain, silent, strong, unmoved. And this decision will change your life. It will change your energy. It will change your results. Because when your mind is steady, your path becomes clear. And no more distractions. And no more spirals. And no more emotional chaos. You make space to think. space to grow, space to act with clarity. You're not here to react to the world. You're here to create in it, to lead in it. To walk through it untouched. And let's be honest, that's what separates the masters from the masses. The master knows what he can control, and he focuses out there. But in here, because here this mind, this heart, this discipline is where everything begins. This is your kingdom, and nothing enters without permission. So from this moment on, you become a guardian, not of your image, but of your energy, not of your opinions, but of your attention. You choose stillness. You choose presence. You choose peace. Not because it's easy, but because it's powerful. Because it gives you what no reaction ever will. Clarity. Control. Freedom. So breathe. Return to center, and remember who you are. You are not here to flinch. You are not here to be shaken. You are here to walk through fire and feel no burn. To face noise and remain unmoved. You are here to become the one they cannot disturb. You are the mountain now. The storm may rage, but you don't move, because you've seen the truth. The enemy was never the world. It was your reaction to it, and now you're free. You no longer waste energy trying to fix what isn't yours. You no longer argue to prove your worth. You no longer beg the world to be gentle. You became strong instead. Strong enough to be still. Strong enough to say nothing. Strong enough to feel everything and still stay centered. You've trained yourself, not to suppress emotions but to manage them, not to ignore pain but to observe it without letting it control your voice. That's the mark of mastery, the ability to sit with discomfort and not escape, the ability to feel anger and not act out, the ability to feel fear and still move forward. You are not ruled by feelings. Feelings visit, but they don't stay, and they don't drive. You are not the weather. You are the sky, clear, vast, still. What passes through does not define you. Now think how different would your life look if you stopped reacting to everything? How much more peace would you have? How much more focus? How many more dreams would you chase, uninterrupted by emotional chaos? That's what most people don't understand. Reactivity doesn't just cost you calm. It costs you time. It costs you growth. It costs you potential. All that energy spent arguing, proving, defending could have been used building, creating, but you're done wasting it. You've seen the price of reaction, and you've decided it's too high. So from now on, you will guard your energy. You will master your thoughts. You will keep your power. You don't yell. You don't chase. You don't panic. You build. You breathe. You lead. Because the strongest man in the room is the one who doesn't need to announce it. His presence speaks. His control speaks louder. His peace commands more than any rage ever could. That's what you become, a presence, not a performance. And oh more being pulled. And oh more being provoked. And oh more dancing to the tune of other people's chaos. Let them be noise. You be clarity. Let them be fire. You be waddle. Let them spin. You stay still. Because stillness is not silence. Stillness is focus. Stillness is command. Stillness is purpose without distraction. And in that stillness, you see what others miss. You make decisions that others can't. You stay the course while they crash. You rise while they rage. That's how you win. Not by overpowering, but by not needing power at all. You've made your mind a fortress. Now, you walk through the world untouched. When your mind is unshakable, your life becomes unstoppable. Not because the world is easy, but because you're no longer at war with it. You're no longer a prisoner of reaction. You've reclaimed your authority, and that authority is not loud. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't chase validation. It moves quietly, with intention, because now, you're the source, not the echo. You don't mirror chaos, you radiate calm. You don't react, you direct. You don't explain, you embody. This is the true meaning of self-command. To be in charge of your mind, your emotions, your path. Not occasionally, not when it's convenient, always, even in pressure, even in conflict, especially in the fire. That's where your training shows. Not in peace, but in the storm. Napoleon Hill spoke about autosuggestion. He meant feeding your mind what it needs to believe over and over. Until belief becomes identity, until identity becomes behavior, till behavior becomes results. You want peace. Then you feed yourself peace. You speak it. You practice it. You repeat it. Until it becomes who you are. Every time you pause, instead of explode, you're feeding strength. Every time you focus, instead of spiral, you're building clarity. This isn't magic. It's repetition. It's training. It's mental discipline, reinforced daily. This is why the greats are so calm. They've rehearsed stillness. They've trained themselves out of chaos. They've made silence their power move. Because control is never about the world. It's always about you. Can you hear criticism and stay centered? Can you feel pressure and still think clearly? Can you hear the noise and not let it in? That's the test. That's the game. That's where transformation begins. You stop being a puppet. You stop being triggered. You stop being ruled by whatever happens. You stop waiting for calm. And you start being the calmest people try to escape. Stress. You walk into it and stay composed. Most people chase peace. You carry it with you. Most people look for balance. You are balance. Because you've trained your system to return to stillness. Fast. Always. Not someday. Now. In this moment and the next. You don't need the world to calm down. You just need to stop letting it in. Guard your focus. It's your power. Guard your mind. It's your kingdom. Guard your energy. It's your life force. Don't give it away to small minds. Not to petty arguments. Not to fleeting emotions. You are here for more. You are built for more. And now, you're living like it. Your emotions no longer own you. They serve you. Anger, you feel it, but you don't act from it. Fear, you hear it, but you don't follow it. Doubt, it shows up, but it doesn't lead. You've reversed the flow. You're no longer pulled by feelings. You lead them. You train them. You redirect them toward your mission. Because every great mission requires stillness. You can't build clearly if your emotions are loud. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself. This is how you become a master. By choosing presence over panic, clarity over chaos, intention over instinct. You start waking up each day already centered, already grounded, already in control. And when life throws the unexpected at you, you don't flinch. You pivot. You adjust. But you stay calm. Always calm. Because it's easy. But because it's trained. And repeated. And earned. Discipline is your practice. Stillness is your result. You no longer run from challenge. You move through it. Not rushed, not shaken. You're precise. Like a blade. This is the advantage no one sees. Everyone talks about mindset, but few build emotional structure. Few do the reps in silence. Few learn how to be still while the world screams. But that's you now. Let them talk. You listen to your vision. Let them judge. You listen to your truth. Let them move wild. You move wise. You carry peace into every room. Not because you're trying to impress, but because it's who you are. And in that peace, you become magnetic. People feel it. They sense the weight you carry, not the weight of stress, but the weight of mastery. You are not light. You are grounded. You are not loud. You are solid. You are not reactive. You are deliberate. And this state of being, this inner control, it changes everything. Your work becomes sharper. Your relationships become cleaner. Your days feel smoother. Your results increase without the drag of drama. You have more energy because you're not bleeding it out into things that don't matter. You have more power because your attention is focused, undivided. You have more direction because clarity loves quiet, and above all else, you're finally free. Free from overthinking. Free from emotional spirals. Free from the addiction to being right, to being understood, to being reactive. None of that controls you now, because you've built something rare, a self that doesn't shatter, a focus that doesn't flicker, or a peace that doesn't need permission.